Hi, I'm Jaya.
And I'm Venk.
And this is the Reality Hate.
Girl, we on episode 7 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
It's getting kind of better.
Kind of better.
Before we start, though, please like and subscribe us. Like us on Instagram, subscribe to our channel. We have, I think, 30 people that subscribe. We want 32.
Make us YouTube celebrities. We're not problematic.
No.
Okay, now we should get into it.
So, okay, we're talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So we ended with the fight. We open up with them still fighting.
And this is where Joe finally says to his sister,
Joe is Venk's lover, dream lover, makes him feel funny.
Come rescue me. Joe finally says everything I've always thought about his former brother-in-law, Joe Giudice.
Is it like, Giudice or Giudice? I used to think it was Giudice, but now they say Giudice.
Cugino mio. Oh.
Okay, Giudice, felon. But like,
oh.
Back to back. So he says it. He's like, he ruined your life.
Oh.
Melissa and I have always been there. How dare you treat us like that? He ruined. I mean, basically
he destroyed their relationship.
Oh.
Theresa went to jail.
Oh.
Her mother was heartbroken and was sick and died.
Oh.
He really did cause chaos in their family. There was a divide. There was a huge family fight due to him for so many years.
The first episode of the first season that Melissa and Joe were on, that fight at the brownstone was all about Theresa's husband separating the family. So they finally got it out, and I'm happy. And you could see Theresa, like, she knew in that moment, this is my brother. I don't have anyone but him left. And I hope it got into her skull. I'm feeling it could be more of, I need to protect the situation, and I don't want him to say anymore because when it comes to Theresa, I gotta take her with a grain of salt. Like, exactly. I just don't always.
I think she didn't want any more said, A. And I think B, yeah, she realized she was backed up against a wall and she really had nobody standing behind her because even her little minion, Jennifer, was just standing there kind of helpless. And I think she knew, like, all she has left is Joe. And if she's going to create a divide, then she has no family. She has no support. She's divorced. Like, who does she have to depend on?
Nobody. And so she did. She said, okay, I will try to mend it. Like, she left it that night.
She apologized to Joe. She said she'd make it right. And then she said she'd make it right with Jackie, who was also having her own breakdown. Now, Jackie cannot handle anything. My goodness gracious. It's like she's made of cotton candy. And if you pour water on her, she just melts.
Can I just tell you something about Jackie? She reminds me a little bit like her breakdown. She has breakdown hair, and it reminds me so much of one of the first housewives of Beverly.
What's breakdown hair? What's breakdown hair?
Hair that's just messy, and it's like a woman going through a breakdown. Do you remember first season of Beverly Hills?
Yes, with the husband that ended up committing suicide. Yeah. She had breakdown hair. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Breakdown hair is when it's like Jackie always like looks confused. She's like, I don't get it. Like, honey, here's what's happening. Theresa wants a target. You are her target.
Right.
And she's firing shots.
Well, and that was the thing is, like, she kept firing shots. The one shot that Jackie fired, Theresa couldn't handle it. And she, the jail comment, she couldn't handle it. She walked away. She can dish it, but she can't take it. And Jackie can't handle anything. You really do have to tiptoe around her. I mean, get it together. This is a rumor, but it's like destroying her to the point where it's like, why are you letting this eat you alive?
You know what? Pre-tape how you actually said what
so
you
here's
said.
my thought, right?
makes sense. So
Oh,
why don't we
okay.
break it
So
down?
before we get into everything else, because there are a few other things that happen in this episode, but like nothing much. I mean, there's nothing important. We don't need to narrate the episode for you. But my question about Jackie is, I was sure in the first few episodes where this rumor happened that there was no affair, that it was jealousy. I think it did have to do with Theresa feeling envious of her relationship with Evan, that it was said by Theresa and repeated in that moment at that party. It came from that place. But I truly believed that the rumor was false. Like, oh, it's not a real rumor, whatever. Then the guys discussed it, Jackie's behavior. And then I think back to last season when Jackie said about Teresa's relationship with her husband, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Yep. Yep.
So walks like a duck, talks like a duck, that whole situation. So I don't know. Now I wonder, did Evan have an affair? Maybe because she's just a broken, and the show her and Evan put on when he arrives at the party the next day is like, so they're happy, everything's fine. Oh, it's so cute. But it just, to me, feels like maybe there
I'll
was
say
something.
this. I know that they're on a show, and I always, how I am, like, you're here for the drama, but the accusation of somebody's husband, carrying on an extramarital affair is one of those moments where I would have left the situation, because she's on the show, but there have been many times that people have left and said, okay, I'm not going to Denise Richards left. And they didn't chase after her. It's not like, if she wants to leave a party or leave a situation, that's still part of the drama. Right. The fact that she stayed and they had this whole, he came and it was just over the top a little bit, was something to give me pause. I want to hope for the best because he seems like such a good guy. But there have been a lot of people we think are good guys and are human beings.
Right. So basically in the episode then, they go their separate ways after the huge fight that night. They come back the next day. Theresa apologizes to Jackie and says, I want to squash it. She kept, her promise to Joe that she would squash it. And then Jackie says, I want you to apologize to Evan and we can talk. And Theresa said, well, I'm not really comfortable talking to him. And in my culture, in Italian culture, the women sort of handle it all, handle all the business for the men. But I guess they're different. It was like, no, you said the rumor. You're backed up into a corner. You don't want to have to apologize to the person you just spread the rumor about. And you're scared. But like, you weren't scared when you did it at his birthday party. Like,
that's why.
So the next day, then he shows up. Theresa, it was the weirdest situation. They're like at the bar. He comes up to say hello to everyone. And then all of a sudden she just kind of like vomits it out. And she's like, look, I'm sorry. I said this. I'm so sorry.
Hey, hold on. Did you not get a little deja vu from like the last time that it was Joe and the realtor, so husband?
Just the awkward, well, at least they stepped aside. This was so calm, very not like Theresa. And she was just like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said this. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cause harm to your family, blah, 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 blah. It was very awkward. It was not genuine. But then that was like all Jackie and Evan wanted, I guess, because they were like, oh, how about it?
At the end of the day, they want to save face. So whatever apology it is, however vapid.
It's exactly, it was very vapid.
Genuine, whatever. That's all they were looking for. And frankly, when it comes to apologies, that's all Theresa can muster. Like,
I mean, she doesn't apologize, but at least they got one, I mean, she also apologized to Joe and Melissa. I mean, so she's kind of doing an apology to her, which is a little weird, but it wasn't genuine. But I thought it was so funny that like, that's all she had to do. And she held out for that long. This whole thing just went on and 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 on for that long, for that, that's it.
And just when I thought things were gonna get steamy, then they're like, okay, apology accepted. Now let's get on a boat.
Who wants tequila? Yes.
So I'm done with that. Let's move on.
So then we move on to the other important part, which is the next fight that happens, because it's really the only other important thing that happens in the episode.
Uh-huh.
Which, do you want to start, or do you want me to fill in? Or
take it away. Yeah, I just have thoughts on it.
Oh, okay. So Margaret, which I thought was, of course the guys are like, they're still talking about it. Well, I thought I agreed with Margaret. It needed to be said. She said to Jennifer, the troublemaker, that she was an instigator, that she was the one that was trying to stir up trouble. She is the reason that this fight happened. She is the reason that everything transpired. And she was right. And Jennifer was like, how is that my fault? Me.
Does she not?
I can't stand her.
I really
Please take her off the show, Bravo.
I mean, we have to look at her husband every time we have to look at her. And I do not. I never thought Nosferatu would find another job on television since Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I guess he did. I really think that Jennifer is, first of all, she's another not the brightest bulb. Second, she's not, I don't think she's a girl's girl at all. She doesn't strike me as a girl. She strikes me as
like she has close friends. She just doesn't have really good friends. Teresa's her closest friend.
That can't be, that's not even a real thing. That's not
like
TV friendship.
Right.
Like, I used to think Bethany Frankel and Carolyn Radswell were real friendship. No. This is what it is. It's television. It's fake.
Right.
But they have television alliances. They have Real Housewife alliances. But the below the belt comment Jennifer makes is what.
So the first comment she makes is, I was horrified at how you spoke to your husband. I mean, personally, I was not horrified at how Margaret spoke to her husband. I thought she was angry and she stuck up for herself and her friend. Like, did you say something about her husband? Which he did. They did discuss that there was a rumor and they heard it, but they didn't believe it. But, Jennifer goes, you did say it. No, but you did. You did, with her like little eyes.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. And she doesn't I mean, what a kind of stupid do you have to be to not understand what you're doing?
Right. So then she couldn't believe how Margaret spoke to her husband, which I thought, like, A, not really an insult. B, I'm sorry you're so submissive that you don't feel like you can be stern with your husband. Hello, it's 2021.
Okay, equality.
Yeah, but cool. But like Margaret said, it's her sugar daddy and he pays the bills and does her plastic surgery so she can look the way she does.
And then
not doing that on her own.
And then Jennifer brought up, which I thought wasn't even the same thing as a sugar daddy, literally brought up something painful from Margaret's past, being,
so Margaret said to her, she made, I'm so horrified at the way you acted at the table. I would be so embarrassed. You spoke to your husband that way. And Margaret goes, okay, well, I think you're a sloppy drunk. I think it's embarrassing the way you acted at Theresa's party and your husband was there and he had to pick you up off the ground and like drive you home. I mean, you're a sloppy drunk and you have 5 children.
Which is true.
Yes. And she was like, I'm not a drunk. I just was letting loose and I was being vulnerable and you're calling me out. No, you have a drinking problem. Like what you did, that's a problem. So then she says to Margaret, well, you're sloppy. You've done sloppy and embarrassing things. You slept with your boss, which was painful, wrong. The woman is living in I don't know, where is she from?
First of all, she clearly doesn't understand.
1904?
Because Jennifer never tried to accomplish anything but land a man. And secondly, So she doesn't know what it was like for a woman in the workplace ever, period, point blank, now, a decade ago, 3 years ago, 10 years
We
ago.
know she didn't. We know she didn't vote for Biden.
Ugh,
I mean, she's not wearing a pink pussy hat. We know that.
That's why
she doesn't believe in women's rights.
she's not a girl. She doesn't believe in women's rights. And I mean, don't knock it. I never knock somebody that wants to marry somebody just for their money, but like it's extraordinarily obvious to my eyes because my eyes burn whenever I see Nosferatu.
I mean, please, I can't.
You can't even. On a positive note, Joe Gorga was shirtless during most of the episode.
But so all of that happens. They go their separate ways again. Jennifer gets in the car and she's like, can you believe she said this? I'm not a drunk. I just, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but she, is trying to defend herself. She's also talking about everybody. She's the worst. She's the worst. She's the worst. And that's all that happens. Like nothing else happens in the episode.
That actually is it. It really ends on that. It's very anticlimactic.
It is. It seems like there's going to be drama in the future. The one thing I did see that I want to touch on is in the previews for the next upcoming episodes, it looks like Jennifer and Nosferatu are renewing their vows. And, a vow renewal is never a good thing. I think when there's a vow renewal, there's troubles in the marriage. We've seen it 1,000,000 times on The Housewives.
They're literally following every mistake a married couple on The Housewives make.
Yes. I mean, what vow renewal didn't end in divorce? I can't think of one. I really cannot think of one because I feel like they all end in divorce. Jennifer and Nosferatu, go for it.
It's not a true renewal. It's a false renewal. Thank you for laughing. Thank you for laughing at that joke. Well, you're right. I hope something happens. I really don't want to see another renewal. And this will be coming on episode 8. So unless we find out that somebody has defrauded people and might spend 50 years in prison and then try to run away from the FBI, I'm not going to be very interested. Somebody commit some Jen Shah crimes, or we will never turn off the TV, but we will be painfully watching you all do the same thing over and over and over again, and it's very tiring. Please do better. Jersey, do better. We know you can do better.
We've loved you in the past.
So we can love you again. Right now, we are tolerating this.
Oh!
So we move on to our taglines.
Yeah. Taglines.
But guess what? 30 subscribers.
Look what 30 subscribers. Look at how many subscribers we have. And we did not get one.
You just have to write it below. You can even write it below our Facebook post.
Write the tagline below. Email the tagline.
Email them right here. He froze. I'm still going. Bank. Atesh. So, please send us your taglines. You can send it right here to this email that we created so that you would email us things like your taglines, or if you love us, or if you hate us, or
you love us.
You
love us.
Yeah. You like our TikToks. What?
So, in the meantime, shall I provide my tagline?
So, Vank made a COVID tagline that is oh so good.
The COVID-30 may come and please go, but my cheekbones last forever.
Woo! The COVID-30, he doesn't have the COVID-30.
I have the COVID-40.
You look great.
I love you. It's layering, honey. It's layering. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Reality Hate. I'm Hank.
And I'm Jaya.
And have a great night.
Yay! Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Okay, start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.